keep it 1 for 100. My men keep it 1 for 100. My ladies keep it 1 for 100. My peoples keep it 1 for 100.
100.
Welcome to Keep It 100 Oklahoma High School Sports on this Sunday, week before Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody that's out there. Hope everybody get the time to spend with family and friends. Get to eat, gobble, 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 gobble. You know, Thanksgiving is one of the best times I think you get together with family and friends. High school football playoffs is going on. Everybody's getting ready for the semifinals, except the 5A. They'll have a week off. Keep It 100 will be shooting at Dick's Sporting Good again, Dick's House of Sports again this Saturday. We'll be talking about all the other classes going into the finals, except for 5A. They'll play their semifinals the following week as they get prepared. So they'll have a week for practice. So they have 2 weeks to prepare for each other, kind of like the Super Bowl. But like I said, folks, we're glad to be back. Been gone a little bit. Shot a show last week on my other show, Oklahoma High School Girls Between the Lines. You can catch that every Thursday morning. Come check it out as high school girls basketball gets deep into it. Yes, I'm solo. I'll be having E join me to go over OU's big win against Alabama. It's good to see that. It's good to see the Sooners get a chance to go play in a bowl game. You know, they deserve it. I know Venables and his staff, man, I know they've worked hard and they're going to get some things worked out going into next season. But got to give a big shout out to the Carl Albert ex-Rob, man. I know a few times, I used to give him a hard time on this show, but sometimes you got to shut your critics up. And I think right now, him going into OU, man, they're supposed to get the top back. And I think right now he's the top back for the Oklahoma Sooners, man, playing lights out, man, playing hard, strong. And that's what it's all about, folks. When you got a young man like that that's hungry and wants to get on the field, is going to do anything it takes to get himself on the field, that's what you want. That's a player that's not worried about his NIL money. He's not worried about all the other stuff. He's worried about just getting on the field and producing for his team, and that's what he did on Saturday night for the Oklahoma Sooners. 2 touchdowns, over 110 yards, rushing, 18, 19 carries. So I think, once you add a passing game to that run attack, you got this guys for another 3 years. I think they did a special on him, asking him, did he want a red shirt? And he said no. And that's the type of players you want to recruit. He's all about the fame and the glam and showing his watch and his earrings and his chain. He's just a hardcore player that wants to play the game of football. And that's what you do, and that's what they kind of teach over there at the Carl Albert, Coach Don and his staff. And so that just comes from a great high school program that it says a lot. That's why they have 4 or 5 guys that's going to OU now, just because it's what you recruit. Recruiting comes from when you have a good player like that, they're going to come get other kids from your program. If you got a knucklehead, they might not going to come back and get a kid from your program because the apples don't fall far from the tree. So, like I said, excited for him. I'll let E get into talking the high school, not high school, but the OU practice report, talk about what bowl they might go to. They got a chance to come take care of business against this Saturday against LSU. That'll be a tough place to play. But, hey, if you beat Alabama, you can beat anybody. Alabama's a team that, one, ain't lost a lot. When's the last time they lost 3 games? Probably, 2010, 2014, that range. They lost 3 ball games. I know Nick Saban is just shaking his head as he do game day like, man, Nick never lost, 3 ball games and, here the new coach. But, hey, kids pack up and leave and go to other schools. One of their best players, Downs, ended up going over to Ohio State, and they got a chance to play for a national championship. But the one thing about the SEC, man, it's too tough because, you looked at Florida knocking off Ole Miss, and Ole Miss is a team that was sitting in a good driver's seat. You saw Colorado get beat by Kansas, a team that I think they got to win one more game to get into a bowl game. So it just kind of tells you, some of these teams started off slow, but they're playing good at the right time, and that's what it's all about. It's kind of like if you're going into the playoffs, which OU or Kansas. I think Kansas and Oklahoma State. Don't know what's wrong with Oklahoma State. They did start a younger quarterback. Ali finally had a good game coming out of his shell and rushing for over 100-some yards, 2 TDs. Oklahoma State just don't have it, man. Defense-wise, offense-wise, putting up some points, but he can't stop nobody. So, lose a tough game to Texas Tech, 56-48 or whatever. Just a tough game. But, high school football, like I said, playoffs is there. You're going to have some big-time matchups this weekend, from all the way from 6A all the way down to 2A. 2A is divided up in 2A1, 2A2. We'll get into that. But a couple things have been going on with us. Shout out to the Lady Titans. They finally lose a game after 2 years. Record probably runs like 40 and right now 40-1, 40 lost a tough game to the Lady Bombers, which was an excellent not high school, but felt like a high school basketball game, but it was a middle school game, man. The crowd was crazy, folks. For a middle school game, it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago, but fell short to the Lady Bombers. Great program with Twin does over there. For 3 years they've been trying to beat the Lady Titans, but came up short 39-38. But you couldn't ask for a better game. If you're going to lose a game, that's what you want. You want a game. I mean, standing room only. Just love to see that in middle school basketball. This tells you that, the kind of talent we have here in the Middale area, Carl Albert and, Mill City, probably not, but 10 miles from each other, if they're even that. But to see how much talent you have, some of the top 29 girls on the programs for each club. Coach Dre coaches a lot of those girls on this Crush Queen team. But these girls, you got to think they went 39-0 last year as 7th graders, going into over the summer and playing AU ball. So you know what you're going to get when you can hook up 3 at the top from their team and 3 at the top from Carl Albert. But like I said, just a good game. Great sportsmanship from both teams, anytime you play against your sister that you play AU ball, because it's totally different school ball, AU ball. Your friends, your friends after the game on the courts, you're banging it out. I like it that way. I don't like how the new NBA is. Everybody giving each other hugs and kiss on the cheek like Magic and Isaiah Thomas used to do back in the day, man. And LeBron and all them going and hanging out on a banana boat, man. When I'm trying to play somebody, and I'm playing my brothers, or even I'm playing home, even this Thursday night, when we're playing Uno at the table, I'm going to try to win. I'm trying to beat my brothers or my kids, It's just the way it is. It's bragging rights. But, I love it. Shout out real quick to 2 young men. I didn't get to do it on my girls' show, but I could do it on Keep It 100. Gibson, Johnson got a dunk in his in pregame with his Loud City team, and Wyatt for Carl Albert's 8th grade team, 3 sports star young man's gonna be a baller. Both of these young men, you start dunking in 8th grade, man, you're gonna do big damage when you get into high school. I know Coach Price can't wait, and even Coach Dunn, the baseball coach, to get Wyatt, man, just a great athlete. Gibson's probably about a 6'2", 6'3" guard. They can get up and, he can also shoot the ball, but he can also get up and, dunk the ball. Yeah, he hasn't done it in the game yet. He's done it in pregame. So if you do it in pregame, you do it in the game. Right now he's probably down for a couple weeks, got taken out trying to go up and dunk in the game. So sometimes when, people don't like when you try to dunk on them, so they might try to do some dirty things. But congratulations to those 2 young men, 8th graders. That's dunking. I love to see. I could never dunk, so I'm gonna piggyback off them and get them some love, because I think it's really cool to see a young man that can dunk at this young age, and it's gonna just bring more press to them. When people start saying that, college coaches start saying, who are those young men? So that's where we're at on that. Anything else going on? Just just enjoying. Been busy. Was in Mexico for 3 or 4 days. Came back. So. Trying to get caught back up. Me and Vic is still going strong on Oklahoma high school girls between the lines. Going good. We're in the 5A girls right now. Got a chance to talk some 5A girls basketball just the other day. We're trying to get through all the classes, man, because we want to mention every young lady that's out there and and say their name and talk about them. So really looking forward to doing that. But like I said, Keep 100. Like I said, we will be at Dick's Sporting Good. We won't shoot Sunday. We'll shoot this Saturday. I was hoping to have Coach Dunn and Mike Dunn on. I don't think that's going to happen, so I got to find a special guest next Saturday. But like I said, folks, if you haven't been out to the new Dick's House of Sports, come out and check it out this Saturday. We'll be there from 11 to 12:30, 1 o'clock. Come out, take some pictures. Might try to get a young man that's probably out of the playoffs and have him come on. Really don't want to mess with somebody that's still in the playoffs, man, because they got too much. One thing you don't want to do is give anybody any bulletin material to, like, oh, they're talking noise. So, I know anytime I've asked Mike and Robert to come on, they've always come on, but both kind of nicely declined, does it hurt my feelings? Yeah! Why don't you come on and talk sports with me? I love talking to those guys, man. I mean, you can see there on this shelf, you got, Carl Albert, Choctaw, and, Del Sando. Choctaw's probably licking their chops. They just beat up a team on Friday night pretty good, man. Zapopa beat up on them pretty good. They have a chance. They got Sand Springs, but Bobby Klink's a good coach. So, like I said, we'll get into that, though. I'm going to bring Big E on, man, have him on the phone, talk a little bit of college. He's kind of under the weather a little bit, so he wanted to stay away, which I'm glad, because I don't want to get sick before Turkey Day, because gobble, gobble, I want to eat me a little bit of turkey. So we'll bring him on, and we'll talk a little OU recap, and then keep this show rolling. Like I said, we're going to just pretty much talk high school football, go over all the teams from 6A all the way down to 2A, some of the matchups, some of the games that went on over Friday night, and then talk about some of the matchups that's going to happen this Friday night. So we're right back after one of our sponsors, keeping it 100 Oklahoma High School Sports. We'll be right back.
The gang's the same, but we changed the name, and we're now Chaos Customs OKC. Still your one-stop shop for all your vehicle upfitting and accessory needs. With almost 30 years in the business, we're your go-to for lift kits, wheels, tires, spray liners, bed covers, leather, fleet solutions, and so much more. Give us a call today at 405-778-8878.
Welcome back to Keeping 100 Oklahoma High School Sports on this Sunday before Thanksgiving. This show will be out, so you can gobble and watch it. Check it out. Listen to us. Listen to me and Big E as we bring you a little bit of OU recap. What's up, Big E?
Oh, nothing much, Tony. How are you?
Man, I can't complain, man. Feel like I ain't seen you in a while, man. I've been gone. I was in Mexico and here and there, and now I'm back, and I know you're a little bit under the weather. I'm going to tell people you probably got the brown bag flu. If they don't know what that is, they got to Google it. But I know you're kind of excited about what the Sooners did last night, so just want to kind of touch base with you a little bit on OU's recap.
Yeah, I mean, that was a crazy win last night. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to be there. I had some other stuff I had to tend to, but that was one that you really didn't want to miss. But, things happen. But, man, just a big win for the program and the future. I think this win will win over a bunch of recruits. Yes, it'll win over guys that were maybe thinking about hitting the portal after the season. Maybe after this win, they, revisit that and think differently about it. So, I think that's just a big win moving forward. And what it showed is the resilience of the team and of the coaching staff. And, everybody was counting them out. The fan base was counting them out. The media were counting them out. They heard all the noise and they were like, screw all that. We're going to go out here and win this football game. And, you heard Brent Venables say it, like, this wasn't fluky. They dominated. And he's exactly right. They dominated.
No, they did.
I mean, only allowed 3 points. It was old school football. The way the OU won it was old school. They did it on the ground. Jackson Arnold only attempted 11 passes, completed 9 of them, and the rest of what they did was all on the ground, whether it was X-Rob or whether it was Arnold. Tatum got pulled up early in that game after that fumble. So really it was the Jackson Arnold and Xavier Robinson show on offense. And then on defense, a bunch of guys stepped up. You talk about a true freshman that's having to shadow probably the best wide receiver in the nation, and he only allows him 2 catches for under 40 yards. I mean, that's pretty remarkable. And I get the guy that he was guarding is also a true freshman, a kid that should still be in high school, but I mean, still, that kid's been electric all year. And he was able to shut him down. And we had Jalen Milroe. He looked like he was clueless out there. Anytime he tried to run, there was somebody there. I think that hit that Danny Stutzman laid on him first play of the game. I think that really set the tone for what they were going to do on defense. He tries to run right up the middle, and Danny's right there in that gap and hits him pretty hard. So, just a crazy win. And then the field storming. I know people are going to have opinions on them storming the field. I mean, I get it. It's Oklahoma, but talking about the season, that the way that the season's unfolded and everything like that, and everything that's going on in Brent's life with his wife's cancer coming back, and all of that stuff. I mean, that was just a win that OU needed, not just the football team, but the community, the fans, the students, the whole athletic department. I think this win gives OU new life heading into the last game of the season next week at LSU. And then, now we're going to be playing in a bowl game. And then I think, if you can win, if you can go out there and beat LSU next week at their house at night, and then you can go and win your bowl game. I mean, that's a bunch of good momentum heading into next season.
Big E, you talk about what's going on with OU. I'm having a little bit of. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm having a little bit of my earphones, man. I act like they're not there. I don't know. So let me. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so you talk about what OU's done. What they did last night. You talk about Venable's wife, and like you said, nobody gave him credit to win that ball game. People laugh at me and at work, and I even said yesterday to my brother, I said, man, I feel upset just because, they've been there. They've been in a lot of games, but just couldn't finish it. And as they get older, the freshmen become sophomores, the sophomores become juniors, the juniors become seniors, and the seniors get ready to go to NFL. So, you looked at X-Rob, he waited his turn, and I said it earlier before I brought you on. X-Rob was a guy that, we used to give a hell a little bit to, me,
yeah.
you, Jonah, RT when he was on here, but he proved us everybody wrong. And one, he really got in good shape. The kid is playing out. He looks like Jerome Bettis. If I had to compare him to a back, he runs like he's not going on first contact, and that's what you want from your running back. And then the second thing is that you talk about Jackson Arnold. I still don't know if he's a quarterback for us. Maybe if we do get an offensive coordinator that does bring a quarterback in. I know the one kid decommitted and ended up going to Florida State. That kind of tells you what kind of young man he decommitted from Carl Albert and went back to Texas, then go to Texas, and going all the way to Florida State. Don't understand that. Florida State's not a winning program, but maybe they threw him a lot of NIL money and took care of him a little bit. But I just think that OU's at the point that they needed that big win, and like I said, I think you're going to save some guys from leaving, because I think if you do bring a quarterback that can sling the ball with that running game you got, and that offensive line is growing up. They couldn't block nobody to last night. They had over 200 yards rushing or more. And you're still banged up. They showed one point in time, they showed the game that had a bunch of receivers banged up, sitting on the sideline. So I think if you had some of those receivers in there, I think the one, number 15, is Thompson. He got hurt early. I don't know if he ever came back. But you're looking at guys that are walk-ons out there making plays. But I tell you right now, man, people kind of question Venable's job. I think Venables is a good coach. I do. I think he's a man of the Lord, and that goes a long way. One thing you hear about OU, you don't hear about a bunch of guys down there getting in trouble, out there drinking and driving and smoking and raping and all that kind of stuff. So he's done a good job, and those kids believe in him, and he's gonna get kids to come in. He's not gonna lose no kids. One thing about the SEC, Big E, the SEC's tough. It's tough night in and night out. Just to see young men who you're playing. You watch Florida beat a team that's 4-5, kind of like OU beat a good team like Ole Miss. So the SEC is really, really tough. You watch Auburn beat Texas A&M last night. So it just sucks about the SEC, because you're probably not gonna find out who the true champion is, because any of these teams can go out and win it in the SEC. So I just want you to kind of speak on that, though, like far as, quarterback and then maybe bringing a different offensive coordinator in, or did what's called do enough last night to keep his job?
It's interesting. I think, leading up to this week, Jackson Arnold was named the starter, or named the captain for this game alongside all of those seniors. It was senior night and everything. So, I mean, I think Jackson Arnold was the only guy that was a captain that wasn't a senior. So I think they did that kind of to, bring up his confidence a little bit, just knowing that, the coaching staff still believes in him and his teammates still believe in him. Because I think the way they do that is the teammates or the team, they vote on who the captains are going to be each week. So, I mean, it still speaks a lot that his teammates still have a lot of belief in him. But I know he didn't throw the ball a lot last night, but when he did, he was efficient, completed 9 of his 11 passes. You didn't need to put the ball in the air to win last night. So I think under the right guidance, I think if you get a good offensive coordinator in there, I don't know why you wouldn't bring him back. I think he's kind of showed his resilience and everything like that. I mean, he easily, and because we saw it this year with a bunch of guys, they get benched or whatever, season's not going well, and they're just like, well, I'm just going to take my red shirt and hit the portal after the season's over. He didn't do that. He stuck around and, even when he was benched for those few games, and then when his number was called upon, he went in there and did his best. I mean, made some mistakes along the way, definitely, but, he's a guy that hasn't given up and continues to believe in himself and believe in the coaching staff and his teammates and everything. So I would like to see Jackson Arnold back at OU next year. Personally, I think there's still a lot of potential in him and everything. And as far as the offensive coordinator search goes, a lot of the buzz right now is around Ben Arbuckle, who's the offensive coordinator at Washington State right now. I think they have a top 10 or top 15 offense in the nation right now. Okay. Granted, they're not playing the best competition because they're in the Pac-2, and a lot of the teams that they're playing are in the Mountain West Conference. But they're still doing a lot of good things on offense and everything. I've tried to watch a little bit of film on what they're doing. He's an air raid guy, comes from that air raid kind of tree. I think I'd like to see a more balanced offense.
Yes, sir.
I'd like to see an offense that, likes to keep it on the ground a little bit more, because it just complements Brent Venables' defense a lot. It's not the offense that OU fans are used to, but it's winning football.
Yeah, that's all you need.
When matched up, matched up with that defense. I mean, I don't care what the score is as long as OU comes out on top at the end of the game. But I don't know. I think Brent knows that this hire is going to make or break his career. So I think he's going to get the best guy available in there. I don't think they're going to shy away from, dishing out the big bucks if that's what they have to do to go grab one of the bigger names. So it's going to be interesting to see. A lot of the people that cover OU football really closely are saying that they're expecting the hire to be announced just a couple days after that LSU game.
So what happens to Joe Dunfilly? Do they let him go? Do they fire him? Because
I don't know.
That's a good question, because
Yeah.
he's done enough. I think he's an Oklahoma guy. I think you keep him on the staff for recruiting, but I think he's done enough to even the guy that got in from Duke. What do you do with him? Because I know he was an analyst and he kind of went over and he's been helping Joe, but I don't know. Because is this guy going to bring in his own guys? Are we going to keep DeMarco Murray? I'm tough on DeMarco, but I thought DeMarco finally manned up and put X-Rob in, do you keep the running back number 8? He has a fumbling problem, does what's his name come back? 27?
Sawchuk, yeah.
Does he come back? Does Barnes come back? Because right now, if I'm going into next year, X-Rob's my number 1 back.
Yeah, I think that the running back position is going to be the position you see a lot of people leaving from. I think Tatum leaves. I think Sawchuk leaves. I think Sam Franklin leaves. I think Barnes stays just because of, I think DeMarco really likes Barnes and everything. They're both guys from Nevada, if I remember correctly. So the connection's strong there with DeMarco. So if DeMarco is retained, I think the two backs that you're going to see that stay are going to be X-Rob and Barnes. But I think you're going to see a lot of guys leave from the running back position, because you got to think you got the number 1 or number 2 running back recruit coming in this class too, and he's been lighting it up. A guy named Torrey Blaylock. He's been lighting it up in high school and everything. So I mean, you still got talent coming in. So I think a lot of the running backs are going to leave, try to find opportunities elsewhere. And I think that's just the way college football is. I mean, I think you could probably see Sawchuk going to a different school and doing good, kind of like how Tawi Walker did this year. He's having a good season at Wisconsin. I think Sawchuk could go somewhere. I think Sawchuk can go somewhere and make a name for himself, definitely.
And then, like I said, I mean, I love what you said, let's make it balanced, because, I mean, right now, if you got the running game going, and I really thought the offensive line turned it on, and I think you're going to get guys coming in.
Got to give credit to that O-line after all the scrutiny that they've faced this year. You got to give it up to the O-line. They played their butts off last night.
No, I thought they played really good. But let's talk about the team up the street, not UCO, because congratulations to those guys. UCO Bronco probably has the best record here in the state of Oklahoma. They're sitting at 11-1, get a big win on Saturday in overtime against, I can't even pronounce the team, Ottawa.
Wachita Baptist.
Wachita Baptist. And this is tell you what UCO did with Wachita Baptist. They beat them Thursday night, or Friday night in volleyball, the girls did. Then the wrestling team, number 2 team in the nation, gets the win over. Then they beat them in football. So they swept that team. Took them all the way back to wherever they from. Arkansas? Where they from?
I think that's in Kansas. Maybe it is Arkansas.
Arkansas, wherever they from. Kansas. They had to take the bus back home. All 3 of them went home with L's. But like I said, great job with them. But Oklahoma State, thought they was gonna get a win yesterday. Man, Big E, they can't get it turned on. 56-48. That's like a basketball score, Ollie did have a good game, but I just don't think he's ready for the NFL. He has a weird run. He kind of gallops when he runs. It's like, he's kind of suspect a little bit, man. I think he needs to either stay one more year or transfer to another school, but I think he needs one more year of college. So I think his draft stack is dropped big time, but they did have a new quarterback play, but I don't know what they're going to do with Gundy. I think that staff gets cleaned out. But, I mean, even if you clean that staff out, Big E, you're going to lose some guys. And then, too, is Gundy, you think he still got the itch to coach, or you think he's like, hey, fire me, let me get bought out, let me get my $35 million, whatever it is, and move on down the road, move back to Middle City and raise a farm here somewhere in the city. But I don't know. I just don't think, you're 0-8? About to be 0-9
in conference, 0-8. Have not won a conference game.
That's ridiculous, man. And I had them favored to win the Big 12. Just
a lot of people did, because they returned everybody. They had they made it to the Big 12 championship last year, and then they returned everybody.
And now you can't even win a game, game. And now they got Colorado, and Colorado kind of shot themselves in the foot, man. They're not who we thought they were. They're not. Big Deion, and he said it. He gave it up to his team like, you guys are reading the clips, And Kansas is another team that we thought that, hey, could win the Big 12. And then you're looking at Arizona State, get a big win yesterday over BYU, kind of a weird game at the end. Coaches running around and just take a knee or go score a touchdown. Why are we running around? Come on, man. Just didn't you have to wait 13 minutes to get all the fans off the – come on, man. It's like, really? Come on.
OU fans did the same thing. They had a little premature run, which if you know the history of what Sooners are, it kind of fit the nickname right there.
You know what, Biggie? I don't mind him rushing the field, because I think last night was more than just beating Alabama. I think it's more of a vent. Venables and his wife and what's going on. When you're dealing with something like that, man, it's a tough situation, man. You got his 2 beautiful daughters on his side, but his wife is his best friend, his counterpart, and she's not there, and
right.
When you go home and he's probably crying. Granted, he's crying of cheer of winning, but crying to hope his wife can, survive all this stuff. So, big shout out, to the Sooner fans, man. Because, like I said, it was. I tell you one thing. I know we give 28 a hard time, but just to see him on the field and taking pictures, and I love that in students, man. I love that with people, because sometimes these players are bigger than what they are, and they're too good for you, man. And I love when, last night was more like a student athletes having fun on the field again. It felt like it was college football, not about the money. So shout out to the Sooners, man. Big time, baby. Big time.
Yeah. And, to speak about OSU and kind of the season that they're having, I think that's kind of a program you're going to have to rebuild from the ground up. I think you clean house and you got to build it. You got to do something completely different. I think what OSU needs right now is a young guy who's waiting for an opportunity to prove himself, like a young offensive coordinator, a young defensive coordinator, somebody that's just been waiting to get their shot at a head coaching job. I think that's what they got to do. I don't think that's going to happen this year. I think they give Gundy one more year before they start looking elsewhere. But you got to get a young guy in there that understands the kids, understands this new era of college football and NIL and how to utilize the portal and all that good stuff. It's just, I mean, that's why Nick Saban left the game. He knew that, that this is something that he didn't want to coach in, but it's just a new time in college football. And if it's eat or get eaten, like you got to adapt, you got to change, or else you're just going to end up at the bottom of the ranks, week in and week out. So I think OSU just needs to look at getting a new coach in there within the next 2 or 3 years, kind of get that program turned around. Because I mean, historically, they've been a good team. They've had years where they've been able to compete for a national title. This came up just short. But I think with the right coaching and the right resources and the right mindset and the right culture instilled, I think Oklahoma State could be one of the top programs in the Big 12.
Yes, sir.
If somebody just comes in there and understands, what the new era is and how to work it and how to, benefit from it. So, but yeah, I think Gundy's days are being counted for sure.
So, you talk about the college football, with all the big losses yesterday. What does it look like as far as, who's in, who's out? Because I tell you right now, last night it shook a lot of things up with so many teams losing. Texas A&M, Alabama was still on the ropes of, getting in. And now, they're completely out. Ole Miss is probably completely out. So what does that look like?
Man, that'll be interesting. I think a lot of people were saying that, 4 or 5 SEC teams would get in there. But after what happened yesterday, I think maybe 3 max SEC teams get in there. And I think the SEC teams that will be in there are probably going to be it's going to be Georgia. It's going to be Texas. I think it's kind of interesting with because whoever wins next week's Texas versus Texas A&M game, that's who's going to play Georgia in the SEC championship. So I don't know. It'll be interesting. I think whoever loses that game, I think they get left out, and then it'll be Georgia, it'll be Texas, and I think if South Carolina can beat Clemson, I think South Carolina gets a shot. I think South Carolina should get in.
What about you don't think? Who's I thinking of? Tennessee. You don't think they have a chance?
They have a chance. It's going to be. Really, we won't know what it's going to look like until the rankings come out on Tuesday night. So, by the time this video is posted, we'll have a better idea of what that might look like. But, it'll. I don't know. The playoff committee people, they do some weird stuff and how they determine who's going to be where and everything like that. So it'll be weird, but I think you're definitely going to see Ole Miss drop out of the top 12. You're going to see Alabama drop out of the top 12. I think Tennessee, they won this week. They played UTEP, I think it was. So they had their kind of cupcake game at the middle of the year that you get in the SEC this past week. So I think they'll still be in there. But man, it'll be weird. Maybe you do get 4 teams. I think if South Carolina is definitely a team that's deserving of being in there. They had a rough start to the year.
Yes.
But just as the season went on, they've gotten better and better and better. And I think if they're not in, they're going to be one of those first 2 teams that are left out and hopefully still get to play in a good bowl game against a good team. But I'm a really big fan of South Carolina this year. I like what they've done, and with they got a lot of young guys that are playing right now too, and they're doing really good. So South Carolina is going to be a team to watch in the SEC for the next few years.
No, I think South Carolina is a team that if they do get in, as a team get on a matchup. I think them and Florida's probably playing the best football at this time at the late stage of the game. I think Florida, they're going to be a team to reckon with. Have a young freshman quarterback and running back. I think it's going to be a team that you got to keep your eye on, along with South Carolina and even the Sooners next year, because Sooners is the youngest team in the SEC.
Right. And then as far as the Big Ten goes, I think you'd see 3 Big Ten teams in there. If they all went out, that is. I think Oregon, Ohio State, and Indiana get in.
I don't think Indiana gets in.
I think Indiana barely sneaks in. I think they do. I think they get that 10 or 11 seed.
Woo! I thought they looked really bad yesterday. Really, really bad.
Yeah.
But I think.
Yeah, but I mean, it's their only loss. They've been undefeated. I mean, granted, this is the first. I think this is the first ranked team they played all year, but. They're still a 1-loss team. I think in a Power 5 conference, Power 4 conference. So I think they should be able to get in. I don't know. It just depends on what the committee thinks of the Big Ten and what they think of the SEC. I think obviously the SEC's been the better conference this year, but I think it all depend on that. I don't see only 2 Big Ten teams getting in.
That's crazy. Well, Big E, I'm gonna let you enjoy your rest of your Sunday afternoon. We'll get together. Like I told the folks, we'll be at Dick's next Saturday, the 11th, 11:30. About 11 o'clock to about 12:30. So come check us out. We're gonna try to have a special guest. If not, you might just see me, Jonah, and Big E. We're the ones that make the show anyway. So, but I don't know. We'll figure something out. Like I said earlier, I wanted to have Coach Jones and Mike Dunn on, but I think they got to prepare for their game, which I understand that. Nobody want to jinx himself, especially when you get this close to the season. You're trying to win a gold ball. So good luck to all the teams that's going to play this Friday night. We'll get a chance to talk about them on Saturday when we do the show. But Big E, I appreciate you coming on with me and doing the OU practice report and talking college football, brother. Enjoy your rest of your Sunday afternoon.
Will do. You do the same.
Thanks, sir. We'll see you next time. Catch you next time.
All right. See you.
Bye-bye. Well, folks, that's Big E, man, my man that knows OU football. I know he's excited, about the game last night, man. OU gets a big win. I'm excited because they get to go to a bowl game, man. And being a senior, it ain't what you wanted. You wanted to be in that playoff berth, but when you get a chance that you can go play still for a bowl game and get some couple goodies and get to see some of these freshmen step up and play, that's what you want, man. And like I said, big shout out to X-Rob, even to the quarterback, Jackson Arnold. I mean, just starting, then getting benched and coming back. He loses that tough game against Missouri. He fumbles the ball. We could have had 6 win there, but he fumbles. But he did a good job protecting the ball. So great job. Like I said, I still like Joe Dunn. I hope they don't get rid of him because I still think he brings a big part of the just the culture of OU football, him being part of it. I love when guys play there and they come back and coach there. I really, really love that. But we're going to get into this high school football. Is why we do the show, man. Keep 100 Oklahoma High School Sports, man. It's that time of year to start passing out gold balls. As you can see, we got the gold balls on the table. It's time for these teams that, from 6A all the way down to 2A. And 2A's divided it up. There were some tough losses came over Friday night. But, hey, somebody got to win, somebody got to lose. That's just part of the game. We're going to start off with 6A. You had a Wassel playing Deer Creek. Deer Creek had a good year. Started off really, really hot. Then at the end, they kind of lost 3 in a row. Got back on and won a couple. Then they take a big loss Friday night against the number 1 team in 6A, which is Owasso, 40-26. Shout out to my man Justin Meredith, the head coach over at Edmond Memorial. I had a chance to watch him play Owasso a couple weeks ago. They got a top-notch quarterback that's going to go to Kansas. So Justin gets the big win over Norman. Norman's been playing good. Norman beat Bigsby just a couple weeks ago. Justin gets the big win. Edmond Memorial over Norman, 49-20. Then Bigsby said, hey, I ain't lost 2 games in a while, but guess what? We're going to get back on the winning streak. And hey, everybody's picking Bigsby to win 6A because when you done it, and you done it, and done it again, and done it well, guess what? They still got you the chance to go win another one. So Bigsby gets the win over Norman North, 59-14. And then you got Jinx. Jinx and Union back. What they call it, the backyard bowl. Let me put the bracket up here real quick. you got, like I said, you got Jinx, taking on, Union, which is, a team that beat them early in the year. But I think right now Jinx is the scariest team in Class 6A. I know Wassel's the team, but Kewan Jones, I think he got KD. Kewan's kind of been off Twitter. Ain't really heard from him. Saw him on the Twin show, Big Chili, or whatever it's called. Heard him kind of talk about there. But I think Jinx is a team that they can take care of business. But Edmond Memorial's playing pretty good ball, so it's gonna come down to it. But like I said, Jinx get the win over Union pretty good, beat them pretty good, 42-7. So now in the semifinals, you're gonna have a Wassel versus Jinx. That should be the championship, folks. It should, but it's not. So they got to do a better job doing this. So you're gonna have a Wassel versus Jinx in the semifinals, and then the other semifinal game you're gonna have Bigsby and Edmond Memorial. And Edmond Memorial. I don't think they won the state championship since Shea Foster was there, probably back in 1989, 1991, somewhere in there. So it's good to see what Justin Meredith is doing with that team, man. Just got him back, brought him back to life, especially having 3 schools there at Edmond. You got North and Santa Fe, and Santa Fe's always been kind of tough, but Justin's done a good job, though. When you have a big-time QB, man, anything can happen. So looking forward to seeing that game. Then we're going to move over to the 6A2. 6A2. Here we got 6A2. Games from last week. You had Stillwater. Let me move up a little bit. You had Stillwater over Public City North 49-11, and then you had Chato all over Zapopa 52-0, and then you had Sand Springs over Piedmont 44-14, and Muskogee only scored 14 points against PC. PC might have had a good game. I don't know if Bird played. I know there's a lot of stuff going on with Bird. I got a phone call the other night, man. When you keep 100 people on Talk Sports, they call you. Everybody was saying Bird might go to OU. And I heard that he's in Utah. I know he took an official visit to Utah this week. Texas State. Utah's in the Big 12. Mom and Dad can see him play a little bit more. But is Utah a little bit better than Texas State? But I think Texas State got some good things going, especially with the transfer portal. So that's going to be really interesting to see how that breaks down. And then then going into this week in the semifinals, you're going to have Sand Springs versus Choctaw. That's a very interesting game. Bobby Klink's a good coach. Jake Corbin just won his first Little League championship, so right now he's feeling high and mighty, looking to get his first gold ball. Folks, I really believe this could be the year, especially watching what Muskogee did against PC. Choctaw scores 50-some points. I think they get by Sand Springs. I think they got a good chance because, Muskogee's got to go against Stillwater in the other semifinal team, a game that was the state championship last year. Does Muskogee got all the firepower to do it? Yes, they do. But I just tell you right now, it's always hard to beat a team twice. I know they haven't played this year, but Stillwater's one of those teams that's either they're on or off. So really interested to see how that goes down. So that's your Class 6A. In semifinals, you're going to have Muskogee versus Stillwater, and then Sand Springs versus Choctaw. That's going to be a good one, folks. I think both teams are pretty good. Bobby Klink's, an OU grad, has been there a little bit. He's won the state championship. I think he won, with Jinx and all that, so he knows how to win. Coach Corbin has been there, been on the doorstep, knocked on it, but hasn't got in. So I think this is going to be the year to do it. This is going to be his year. 5A is going to have a week off, so 5A is one of those ones that you look at, man. You got hold on, let me move this over to 5A. Folks, it's hard when you got to do it by yourself. You ain't got no help. But guess what? I love it though. So and when you go to 5A, you had Newcastle. They took on Pryor, which was hell of a game. I'm gonna say it, 38-37. Man, that's a game that kept you on your toes the whole game. So good. Congratulations to the Newcastle Racers. One of my co-workers' son played there. He's just a freshman, looking to try to win his first state championship as a freshman. So really looking forward to see what Newcastle can do. I think Newcastle got a bit of break. They'll have to play Carl Albert Dale City in the semifinal game, so they get a little bit of break. But this team's get a week off because they're not gonna play this championship game till I think December 14th. Folks, you know how cold it's gonna be. That game might be played in the snow. Whoever has the best winning game is probably going to win that game. It's going to be hard to throw the ball when it's cold like that. So, like I said, you got Newcastle over Pryor, and you got Guthrie, which I really thought Booker T would win this game, just being the athletes they are. But Guthrie found a way to pull it off. beat Booker T 29-20. And then you have Dale City all over the Irish, man. I mean, just didn't take Coach Jones and Mike Jones, but Coach Jones just didn't take it easy on the Irish, man. He's like, not today, Irish. You ain't getting lucky in my house. Beat up on them really, really good, 66-0. And this guy started a true freshman quarterback. Kids 12, 14 years old, started in the high school playoff. His starters kind of beat up. But, hey, this kid right now, man, I had a buddy call me the other night and tell me, before this kid leaves Dale City, he could be one of the best quarterbacks, one of the best prospects coming out of his class. So really, really interested to see what this young man could do, man. I got a chance to watch him last year when he's in 8th grade. He's playing with poise right now for a 14-year-old kid, starting on a high school team. Pretty good size. You know, he's still a little bit, tiny because he's still just a freshman. But I'm really looking forward to see, what he can do. They'll take on Carl Albert. But Carl Albert beats up on Claremore 45-14. So you're going to have the Mid-Dale War. Instead of being in the finals like it should be, it's going to be in the semifinals. So you'll have Coach Jones taking on Mike Dunn, two good friends. Like I said, if you ever listened to this show, I've talked about these guys a million times. Was roommates. Went coach in Texas together, coach over Dale City together. Mike takes a job at Carl Albert. Jones takes a job at Dale City. Coach Andy did kill two birds with one stone. Both guys are doing really, really good things. Mike has the edge on Robert. Played each other last year in the state championship. I really think, I'm going to be honest with you, Dale City's been flying under the weather, man. No one really knows that much about them. They're a good team. They got some good players over there. I saw McAllister just get another offer. Got a lot of guys, they might not be like Carl Albert having 5 or 6 guys going D1, but you got Rickland Holmes, you got Miles. He got some players, man. When you're starting a freshman quarterback and you got a lot of guys coming back, and seeing, I said it a couple weeks ago, hey, this team's a year away, but, I'm about to eat crow on that one. This could be their year, man. I really think whoever wins this game between these two is going to go off and win state championship. Carl Albert's already beat up on Guthrie. You saw what Dale City did to Guthrie last year when Guthrie had all the players. So I don't see anything changing. So whoever wins, I'm gonna say it right now, keep it 100. Whoever wins that Carl Albert Dale City game will get another gold ball. Robert Jones will get his first gold ball since 1967, whatever it is, and then Coach Jones will get not Jones, but Coach Dunn to get his 19th gold ball. So both good programs, both good schools, both great coaches. So it sucks to see one of them lose, but that's where it goes. But like I said, it's been a hell of a game, man. Y'all catch it over at Putnam City North here in about 2 weeks, man. And like I said, I think that place is gonna be packed. If you got a chance to go watch it last year, it's gonna be a chilly game. Dress warm. It's gonna be on a Friday night. It might be Saturday. I'm not sure what day that is. Let me see what day that's going to be on. That game would be, it'd be Friday night, 7 p.m. at PC North. Then Newcastle and Putnam City will play that same Friday night over at Putnam City. So I wish that game was going to be played up at Westmore new stadium. I would love to go over there and hang out there. A little bit more closer drive, but it's going to be a good game. You will catch me at that game. Might have to go get me some thermals and some with them long suits. I stole my suit from Roman. He came back and got it, so I don't have it no more. So some coveralls. That's what they're called, coveralls. Now we're gonna drop down to 4A. 4A. Tuttle must have it good because Tuttle kind of got it easy. I hate to say it that way, but Tuttle kind of got it going on, man. As far as the state championship, the road to the state championship. Tuttle kind of got it good, they don't have to, like I said, you got to go play the game, but Tuttle gets the win, in the semifinals, Newcastle, down here, Bethany's all over Ada 30-6, and you got Elgin over Salazar 49-6, you got Wagner over Clinton 29-0, then Tuttle over Hisdale 49-7. So in the semifinal, you're gonna have Tuttle versus Bethany, a team they beat earlier this year, beat them pretty good at Bethany, so now they be playing on the neutral site. But my thing is, it's always hard to beat a team twice, but I really think that Tuttle's the best team money can buy. Great ball players, when you got C.J. Simons, and they're just balling out right now, man. They really are, with the running back Brody. These guys, man, it's their CJ and Brody are seniors. They're trying to One, trying to get a big pickup offer. Then two, trying to win a state championship. No, everybody wants to walk around with that big old ring on their finger, man. It's pretty cool when you can say you're a state champion. You can tell your kids and then your grandkids one day, so, hey, I played in the state championship game. So then in the semifinals, you're going to have Tuttle versus Bethany. Then you got Wagner versus Elgin. And Elgin gets to win, like I said, over Salazar 49-6. Everybody's picking Elgin to win. Drop down from 5A to 4A. Done nothing but ball out. I thought they had a really, really good team last year with a top running back. But I guess Elgin just don't fall off. So that's going to be a good one. I mean, Bethany and, like I said, Tuttle will be a good game. But you also got to look at Elgin and Wagner, man. And Wagner's a team that's been there, so I don't even know who to pick that. So I mean, I'm gonna go and pick Tuttle, and I'm gonna pick Elgin. So I think Tuttle and Elgin play for the state championship in Class 4A. Then move on to 3A. 3A. So in 3A you got Sulphur over Lincoln Christian over Pauls Valley 49-7. Sulphur over Idabel 53-21. Chakota, man, they beat my man Chris Cole. Chris Cole was assistant coach for Bigsby, Coach McGuire. So he comes from the Coach McGuire tree. His wife's the head cheerleading coach over at Bristow. I really like what he's done this year. He upset somebody in the first round. Came back and played at home, lost a tough game to Chakota, 35-32. This is a first-year head coach, man. So, they went from a wing tee to a spread offense, and I just tell you right now, you do big things like that in your first year, man, it's going to only get better. So, congratulations to him and his team. I know they fell short from making it to the semifinals, but, man, he got to tip his hat off because he did some big things this year for Bristow. But then you got Heritage Hall over Hall and Hall, 43-21. So then it matches up in the semifinals. You got a Chakota versus Sulphur. Then you got Heritage Hall versus Lincoln's Christian, which that should be the state championship game too. It's just the way it happens, folks. Sometimes that's the way the cookie crumbles. But you're looking at two games. Heritage Hall Lincoln Christian game is going to be a tough ball game. Then you're looking at Chakota versus Sulphur. Sulphur, I think, is a hot team too. So I can see Sulphur getting the win, and then I see Lincoln Christian getting the win over Heritage Hall. Moving down to 2A, because you got 2A1 and 2A2. In 2A1, you're gonna have Millwood over Chandler 22-7. I don't know. My man is back. CJ back. They've been scoring the points they were scoring earlier. Then you got Metro Christian versus Jones. Metro Christian beats Jones 27-21. It sucks for some of my senior guys out there at Jones, man. They came up short, went on the road to play Metro Christian. Just a tough team. Anytime you got to go on the road, the game went back and forth, but fell short. They got the thing about Jones, they got a bunch of freshmen, that played a lot of varsity minutes. Got the quarterback. They got a lot of guys coming back, and, with the transfer portal, you'll have some guys moving. So, really looking forward to see what Jones can do in the next few years. I think Ty Dorm's a young man that I got a chance to coach. We're really good friends with his father. So, I'd like to see him get a state championship before he gets out of there. But I really think Jones will. Millwood, I just tell you right now, Washington, they're starting a freshman quarterback, and everybody keeps talking about him. But all Washington do is win, baby. I mean, that's all they do. So, you're looking at Washington was all over Kiefer, 48-14. Then Marlowe versus Kingston, 27-21. So then in your semifinal game, you will have Metro Christian versus Washington. I think Washington to get that win, and then Marlowe versus Millwood. I really think Millwood win. If CJ's healthy, 100% healthy, I think Millwood beats Washington this year. I know Washington's been the thorn in Millwood's butt, but I think it's time for Millwood to get it. But like I said, when you start playing these games, it gets cold, boy. It's a whole different ball game when it gets chilly outside. So hopefully those guys can get it figured out, though. But I see Millwood. I can see Millwood and Washington playing each other for another state championship. Then we're going to go down to 2A2, which you had Davis all over Adair, 27-24. You had Stroud over Salina, 56-12. You had Vian over Biggs, 35-7. Then Coord over Holenville, 36-14. And then in the semifinals of those, you're going to have Stroud versus Davis and Coord versus Vian. pretty good games. And and I kind of glad they broke it down like that in 2A. It's gonna be some really, really good football games that's gonna happen here over this Friday night. And then, like I said, 5A, I have a week off. They'll practice this weekend for Thanksgiving. But it's always cool. That's a tradition that Carl Albert do. They have, a lot of the players come back on Thanksgiving and get ready for the big ball game. But like I said, they got a whole nother week to get ready for it. So both teams, Robert and Mike, have 2 weeks to get ready for each other. Man, that's a lot of time to get ready for they know a lot about each other. I got to give a shout out to Carl Albert's defense coordinator, man, does a really good job. The head golf coach does a really good job, man. Those guys will be in that office, even though they have a week off before they play each other, man. They're gonna be studying. But got to give it to Coach Jones. He takes over the office, this year, loses offensive coordinator at the beginning of the year. But and this is what you gotta. You got to think about when Robert got beat by Edmond Memorial, everybody scratching their head like, holy cow. That just tells you what Edmond Memorial's at. They're in the semifinals, folks. 6A football. 6A football is probably the top class we got here. And Edmond Memorial's in the semifinals, and then Robert Jones is in the semifinals in 5A. So that just tells you where he's sitting at. He can compete in 5A, in 6A. So, it just tells you where you're sitting at, though. But big kudos to, like, Justin Meredith and the Edmond Memorial. Bulldogs, man, like I said, got a chance to go into that new stadium. It's really, really nice. And it would be cool to see Edmond knock off Bixby and get to the state finals and either play Owasso or Jinx. I think it's Jinx here to win it, but Owasso is just really, really good. I know they had some guys banged up and got some guys back, so really gonna be really, really interesting to see who pulls it off. Like I said, 5A, I think 5A and 3A got a couple games that are let me get back to us. You got a couple games that are that are state final games, with Dale City and Carl Albert, and then Heritage Hall and Lincoln Christian. Both of those games probably should be finals, but hey, that's the way it works sometimes. You don't always get what you want. But like I said, folks, we're going to be at a Dick's this Saturday morning, 11. The date's going to be 11:30, 24, at 11 o'clock to about 12:30, 1 o'clock. Come out and check us out. Last time we had a good time, man. Come out to see the Dick's House of Sports, man. It's one of the best sporting things around. Last time we had Cam Kennedy from You Should Know podcast came out and helped us out. Pretty sure he's going to be in town, but I might just have him sit on the set. I don't know yet. I don't know. I want to have a special guest. I might see if I can get my man Malachi to come help pick some games, 6-8 games. He's got a chance to play. I don't know. We're going to have somebody there sitting in the chair with us, have a 4-man crew. I like the 4-man crew, especially we got the big table like that instead of have the 3-man crew. But like I said, it was a good time, folks. It's Black Friday weekend. Come get your gear for your kids, especially before these state championship games. Come load up and get warm over here at Dick's Sporting Goods, man. Like I said, they're gonna treat you right here, man. Come out and check out Keep It 100. Like I said, folks, you can always catch me. Before I let you go, you can always catch me and Coach V every Thursday morning on Oklahoma High School Girls Between the Lines. One of the high school best things that's out right now talking about high school girls. If you have a daughter that can hoop, let us know. Let us get on the show. If you have a coach that thinks she's flying under the radar or he's flying under the radar as a ladies coach, let us know. We'd like to have him on the show. So, folks, like I said, check the show out. We'll drop this show this Wednesday. Check it out. Like, subscribe. We're about 40 away from being where we want to be on our goal. We've been doing this for a while. Help us out, man. Make this be our Christmas gift. Subscribe to the show. Keep It 100 Oklahoma High School Sports. I know we got other people doing it, but like I said, we're one of the things that, we give back to everybody. We don't take, we give back. But like I said, check us out. Come check us out again this Saturday at the Dick's House of Sports from 11 o'clock to 12:30. We'll be up top sitting in the sporting program. We'll have the gold ball there. Hopefully we'll have a special guest and we can talk high school sports for an hour, pick some of the prediction for the state championship games going on. And every game's going to be played at UCO. That's why Carl Albert is set back to play on December 14th, folks. I'm telling you, come get your gear because it's going to be cold December 14th. They're looking to win another gold ball. But we'll catch you next time on Keep It 100 Oklahoma High School Sports. See ya!